Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling. I should be seeing what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhollow today. We'll be vibing out as per usual. Or almost there, you know, just the second last day of a year. And tomorrow there will not be a pre-recorded episode actually, but it probably won't be a Happy in Paradise episode. It'll probably just be a normal short episode. Maybe on the first I'll do Happy in Paradise, but we'll see, you know, how I'm feeling and all that. Because I'm going to see a fireworks show quite late at night, so, you know, ring in the new year. But, you know, I mean, if there's any time we're just going to be busy, it's definitely going to be, you know, the holiday season, unsurprisingly, but it's near the end of it anyway. So, anyway, hello everyone, right now in Fawnhallow, it's 4:58 p.m. on Friday, December 30th, 2022. Yeah, I've just been, like, slowly building up my backlog again. I think I got... I'm going to be recording some either a Mario Cuphead, I see you later today, so I'll probably have like an entire week's of backlog, which is like, whoa, I haven't had like a week of backlog in like years. Okay, well, not years, but like months, so, you know, in fact, time well spent, I think. You know, I'm actually playing through the games, which is always nice to see. Yeah, what should I talk about? So yesterday, you know, I went around to like a friend's, and you know what, actually, this is something interesting to talk about, is one of the things they had, it was like a present that for like their grandchild or something like that, which was left there, which is they had like this candy, like this sweet machine, which was basically like a claw machine. It was the wildest thing I've ever seen, because I was like, whoa, what is this? Is this a claw machine for candy? And they put like Lindor chocolates and that sort of thing, you know, like the big like round spherical ones or whatever, and it had like like, the claw was very strange. It didn't look like the claws you see in like arcade sort of machines. It looked like it kind of looked like a digger claw, you know. Like I'm not sure if the digger's actually like the proper name for those construction site machines, but you know, it was like one of those, and it had like 3 joysticks on it to like actually play the game. You might like 3. Well, it didn't run quite properly like the same as a claw machine. You didn't get like one attempt. You had these like fake plastic coins which you put in, and then well, in this case you didn't actually put in because the sensor was at the top of a coin slot, so whatever. But you had 3 joysticks, one that moved left and right, one up, forward and back, one up and down. So you know, you basically can try it as multiple times as you want, which is fair because I mean, claw machines are rigged in the first... Oh, wait, hold on. We need to go to Hearts Island first. Claw machines are rigged in the first place, but, you know, this machine was pretty difficult. Like, I didn't even give it a go. I just, like, watched other people give it a go, to be honest, because I wasn't that interested. But, I mean, I wasn't that interested in playing. I was like, this is a pretty cool, like, present, though. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you know, it's what I was thinking. It was basically like, man, kids' toys nowadays, that's wild. And it's even weirder because, like, certainly when I was a child or whatever, I'm sure the kids' toys I had then were, like, even more wild compared to, like, what people had way back in the day. You know, it's like, I don't mean it in the sense of like, back in my day, you know, kids these days, they don't know how to play with a simple ball or a simple like doll or teddy bear or something. No, kids aren't, you know, kids can probably still play with a teddy bear, kids still have like an imagination, you know, and, like, I don't know if you've spoken to a kid recently, but, you know, they're very excitable. Well, not all of them necessarily, but, you know, a lot of them are. And, you know, they will find entertainment out of anywhere. You know, it's a sort of magic power of the creativity of kids. When your mind is young, you know, haven't been as exposed to as much, like, media as we have been nowadays, such everything can be a new experience. Wow, it's got, like, kind of sad. Never mind, said it, but that's not what I meant. Basically what I meant is, like, it's only getting better, you know, kids get, because, you know, it's not like we're going backwards in time or anything, it's not like the past deletes itself, I suppose, once a future's been created. You know, the kids can have access to not only the cool new future toys they have, and also the cool toys that they've got from the past as well, you know, the old basics. Like, I don't think we should be better over the advancement of any sort of, like, field or technology, right? So no, I was just thinking that, because obviously, you know, when like, my parents grew up and, you know, they had much more rudimentary toys and that sort of thing, you know, and like, speaking to my father, just a lot of things, he just played a lot of sport because they just, like, had a ball. That was, like, basically the only toys they had. And when I was younger, then most of the toys I had ended up being plushies, but I did have, like, quite a few fancy toys. So I was sort of like, we need, like, an in-between. We need, like, an old millennial, or what's the one, like, older than millennial, Gen X or something? I don't remember. To be like, what toys do they have? Because, like, I'm trying to think back, like, with the toys I had when I was super young, like, I remember, actually, one of the coolest things we had, because we didn't actually play with toys all that often, at least in my primary schools, because you were expected to go outside and get, like, physical exercise, and fair enough, when you're a child, but sometimes, and, like, there's a thing called wet play in the UK, I don't know what it's called in US necessarily, but when it rains during break time, you stay inside, because, you know, you don't want your kids catching pneumonia, hopefully. And we had like quite a few toys to play with then. The coolest one we definitely had, which I think I was in year 2 when year 2? Yeah, I think year 2's right. When we had it was Connects. Connects is like this sort of like, I don't know how I describe it except for it's like a construction-based toy, like along the lines of Lego, except for instead of using bricks, you're using like joints and sticks, I guess is what I describe it. Like, so you can search it, KNEX. That's something we had. Hold on, you know, let's get the Wikipedia sort of like what's a technical definition for this type of toy. You know, like the non-copyrighted thing, the non-trademarked thing, a construction toy. Okay, sure. And well, actually, this wasn't where I was intending to go with this story, but you know, there's a lot of things I can actually say about Connects because I actually really liked Connects when I was younger. But we had like a big kit. I remember when we first got it because we were we were in year 2. Like that was the first time our school got a kit or something, and we were the first class to get one, I think, or maybe all the classes got them simultaneously, but like we were the first year 2 class to get one on. I don't really remember off the top of my head. But I remember it came in, and like our teacher like sort of sat us down, and, you know, like breaks or playtime, no, the morning registration or something. And, you know, she talked about this, and you know, she got one of the kids to bring up this giant blue box, which you know, probably wasn't actually that giant, but in my head it was giant. If anything, it was probably like what the size of a briefcase maybe. This blue box just filled with all these Connects pieces in, and I was excited as heck because I had actually played a lot of Connects before. Like I think. For my birthday, actually that same year, just earlier in the year, so which one did I just dig up? Was it this one? I asked for, in lieu of having a birthday party for whatever reason, I don't know why, but because I don't even think the toy was that expensive, but I think I insisted on it or something. I don't really remember. But I wanted this Connects roller coaster, which maybe if I search Connects roller coaster, it would actually come up. Connects roller coaster. There's probably a lot of them nowadays, but it was a very simple one. It just went up, down, did a loop, and came back round, and it was like, oh, here we go. It's Connects Rippin' Rocket Roller Coaster Village. No, Connects Rippin' Rocket Roller Coaster. It was that one, that exact model. And then, like, I don't know, it was awesome. Like, I remember, like, getting it for my birthday, and, you know, I remember a lot of my friends were like, why didn't you have a birthday party? And I was like, because, you know, I didn't want one this year, and I also wanted this roller coaster or whatever. I don't know, in my head, it was probably, like, that probably cost, like, £1,000. It probably didn't, probably, like, I wouldn't, maybe at the time, it would have cost, like, £60, which is probably, you know, still kind of expensive, but I actually just opened Netflix for no reason. I'm going to try and find it. It's probably on Amazon. Connects roller coaster. This is Joy-Con Drift walking here, so don't mind me. But £40? Way cheaper. This is a massive Ferris wheel. £340. So it's probably about this one. It's about £60. I don't know. That's an even fancier one I had. So okay, yeah, it was probably about £50 or something. I don't know why I was so in my mind. I was like, that's like hundreds and hundreds of pounds or something. But anyway, my parents bought it for me. You know, very very luckily. And at the time, we lived in a house. We had this like spare room. It was like, I guess it was kind of like a playroom, except for we never like played in there necessarily. We like played all over the house because we're kids. But I constructed that Connects roller coaster, and I remember got it, like opened it, and just like spent the entire day just building it, and you know, and it's sort of like a dream, you know, and for me especially. It's just like, here's a load of instructions, here's how you follow these instructions, make it, and I was like, yes, absolutely, and I made it, and it was awesome. And I remember like I didn't even play with it that much because there's not really much you can do while you play with it. It just sort of like goes around the roller coaster. It comes out like this little cart with these like 2 plastic people in, and you put it on, and then you just like send it, and it's got like the way it actually goes round is like it doesn't have a chain like actual roller coasters does. It has this like I want to call it a propeller, but if I say propeller, you're going to think of like a fan propeller. What it was is basically like these 2 really fast motorized like wheels spinning, and they have a gap between them, like 2 horizontal wheels, I suppose, spinning. They have a gap between which is just big enough to get the cart through, but the carts will still touch a wheel. So when the wheels start spinning, you put the cart through, and then like the wheels just like launch the cart because the cart is like 10 grams or something. Oh, not New Mountain, pudding. What, you Harley Quinn or something? Anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, so that's how it worked. I had 2 of it is to launch it up like this giant, like, vertical climb and then vertical drop. And then it used all that momentum to do a loop-de-loop and come around again. And you basically just watch it go round on a loop-de-loop all the entire time. It's not like the most, you know, stimulating thing in the world, but it's more like the fact you created it in the first place was awesome. And I remember so many different parts of it, like, you know, setting the foundation, seeing it come together piece by piece, like building a bit and then putting a bit on the top, making the loop, and then like making the actual... Not making the actual rail tracks, but they give you like this really long cables to like slot onto these specific pieces to make up a cable. And I remember I cut it, but I cut it a little bit too short, and I was like, no, I ruined the entire thing. But then it's like, okay, you can just cut. And I remember like one of my parents was like, you can just cut a bit more and just, you know, like fill that gap. And I was like, oh yeah, and I did that. I don't know why I remember that bit. And I remember, I don't remember why I remember so many details. I remember it was red and yellow, and the cart was, no, the motorised propellers were orange. I think the cart was red. I'm not really sure. I might not be right. Maybe I don't remember as much as what I did. But anyway, I loved it. You know, it was great. It was fantastic creating it. So when we got it in school, it was like, yeah, connects. I wasn't like that. No, I was significantly more subdued as a kid. Well, I mean, that probably doesn't surprise you. I guess that was really quite subdued. So I was more like, woo. But yeah. Anyway, that's spawned me getting a load more Connects things. Like, I remember, I think I got, like, some Fairground other Connects pieces. Like, one of them was, like, one of those, Ferris wheels. I think I had a merry-go-round. I'm not sure. If it wasn't a merry-go-round, it might have been, like, one of those hanging seat chair swing things. I can't remember what else I built, but basically I was getting, like, a small, like, amusement park in that little room. Which is, you know, great, because I love amusement parks, to be honest. Yeah, so I always played with Connects a lot more. I mean, I had Lego as well. Like, I also really like Lego and assembling with things. But I don't know, something about the size that you can make the Connects things feels a lot better. You know, like, Lego pieces just kind of had to stack up, like, next to each other. Like, I'm thinking about very basic, like, Connects and Lego pieces. Well, Connects are, like, quite long sticks or whatever. So, you know, you end up taking, like... Yeah, if anything, they should have a collaboration where you can work together, you know. Because Connects would make a great foundation. And then Lego can make, well... solid. I guess it's more like Connects can make like a solid framework, while like Lego can make like a foundation, like we're cladding in a wall or something. Anyway, I had a lot of Lego as well. I just don't remember the Lego specifically, like what I had. I think I had like a Lego Star Wars one, which is weird because I wasn't even a Star Wars fan. But I don't even remember what I built. Actually, you know what? Oh, sorry, just muted myself. I have this other Star Wars toy. I don't remember. I think it was Star Wars. Was that a Millennium Falcon? Millennium Falcon. It might have been. It might not have been. I don't think it was. Because I remember it looking like quite bronze or copper. Maybe that was a Lego thing. I don't remember. Did I make that? I don't remember. But I remember wanting to play with my father. With it once. And just being like, can we play? And it was, I don't know. And there was like a piano lesson going on at the same time. So I was like, okay, we can be really quiet. I don't know why that sticks in my head, but it does. Anyway, the Connects toy was awesome, and in school, you know, that's a thing, you know. They should try and get Connects and Lego in schools or whatever, because that's great fun. You know, who doesn't love it? I guess, you know, small deficit, especially with small children, you know, small pieces. Let's hope they never, like, try to eat them, but, you know, the kids. And also probably making an absolute mess. And, like, you'd find loose pieces, like, everywhere. Anyway, I don't remember what that kit's necessarily for. It might have just been, like, a recreational kit. I also genuinely don't remember what stuff I made with it. I think, especially at the time, I wasn't particularly great at, like, sort of improvisation-y creating something. I just, like, followed instructions very well. So I'm really not sure what we did, but the sad thing is every single break time is our break times were 30 minutes, our lunch times were like an hour or something, but you know, taking away the time but you had to eat, you only had like a max 30 minutes or so to actually make something, because at the end of every break time we had to break it up and put it back into the box again and, you know, tidy up. Otherwise you'll, you know, have just like a load of random Connects creations, and it's kind of fair as well, so then other kids can play with the Connects and create their own things in the future, right? But yeah, it was always a bit sad. But I do remember this one time, this one kid like begged the teacher if he could just like keep it out or whatever, and then the teacher, I can't remember, probably just like being fed up with having to deal with children being annoying, I suppose, for the entire day, was like, okay, you can keep it out or whatever. And I remember being, you know, I'm not going to say bitter per se, but being like, why does he get to do it? But like a cool thing I created and I didn't get to keep it. You know, squeaky wheel gets a grease or whatever, but, you know, on a long scale of things, who cares, you know, past me? Who cares past me? I mean, that's probably something you would say to a lot of your younger selves, I'd imagine. And then, you know, obviously not all the time, depending on your life situation, but certainly had a lot more issues to deal with, or more important things that ended up mattering a lot more than that kid. I think I still remember who it was as well, for whatever reason, allowing to have the Connects creation still out or whatever. And actually, now I think about it, we actually had something similar in nursery, if we're on the topic of construction toys. Excuse me, we had, I don't know what it's called, it's a problem. The only thing I remember, there was a red box, which basically kind of looked like a die, if every die had like the 5 pip on every side, and one of the faces were missing, so it was basically an open hollow box. And then we had these like blue wheels and like white axle things which you could put together, and I think like yellow long sticks. It's basically like massive construction toy that we had in nursery. So nursery reception age, that's something like 2 to 4 year olds. Something about sort of age range. I don't really remember the exact numbers, but we had that in nursery, which we used to build things. And it had like it had nuts and bolts. That's what it had. And you can make like these weird, like, well, I mean, probably the conception was you make these like vehicles, like construction vehicles or whatever. Except for, we were in nursery, so we were not very smart at doing it. So it's sort of just like we did whatever we particularly wanted, and just sort of made like Eldritch Abominations that we would call vehicles or something. I don't really remember. And yeah, oh man, I have another like vehicle creation story. I'm not sure if I've told it before. I might have told it before. But I'll save that for another time, because it's not really related. It's only partially related. But we had that in school as well, which was super cool. I wish I knew what it was called. Maybe I can find it. Let's see. Plastic large construction toys. They probably look very different now, so it's going to be a little bit difficult. Oh, I forgot about these magnetic ones. What are they called? There's the ones where you had like marbles, and it's not Geox. It's like, that's for shoes which breathe. It's like Geomag. Is that it? Hold on. Geomag. Yeah, Geomag. I forgot about this. Like, this is not something I had. This is something that friends had and I wanted, but also never bought. So maybe I did have. I think I did have some. I just didn't have a very like crazy set or whatever. But basically, they were just like marbles and these little like sticks. And the sticks had like little magnets at the end of them. So then you can make like these jointed things. Like you could stick a load of sticks together to make a really long one. Or you could stick the sticks to the marbles and have like a joint. And then really the only thing you could make with them were like shapes, to be honest. But like it's kind of, you needed like a lot of them to make like big things from what I remember. But I just remember people just made like a load of shapes or what have you. Anyway, that came to mind. That's a cool thing, It's cool how many sort of like construction toys there are. There's also like these small like little ball magnets which you just have by themselves, so you like magnetically were attracted to each other, and you can make like shapes of them. Don't remember what it was called, to be perfectly honest. Oh, I just had a thought of another toy, which I'll mention here because I definitely, well, maybe I could fill up a whole conversation about it. Or an episode about it. I also feel like I talked about it before, but it was basically a toy which came out in like 4 parts. I mean, it was basically like a huge puzzle. I mean, if you sold for a puzzle, no, it was a toy which came out. And it was basically like a huge puzzle. It was like a 10,000 piece puzzle or something. And then they had a promotion where it was like, if you're the first one ever to solve this puzzle, you'll get £1 million or whatever. And it wasn't like a picture or anything. It was just like a load of shapes next to each other. And like certain shapes could only be next to other certain shapes or something. Basically like a huge dominoes puzzle. Something like that. And anyway, I remember that they had it twice. Like the first person did it, like it was some university kid who got like £1 million or something because he, managed to assemble the puzzle. And they released like help kits along the way, so that they were like 100 pieces. And like if you managed to solve that would be like, oh, yes, this is a guaranteed part of a puzzle. I can't believe that was a thing. Anyway, I bet that was all a scam. But I suppose at the end of the day, and at worst you have a 1,000 piece puzzle, which is kind of cool. But anyway, I'm going to round off this episode here. So, construction toys, I guess that's the title for today's episode. Sorry, I should do it with a bluey voice. How was it? This episode is called Construction Toys. Something like that. Anyway, if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been there, darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares are greatly appreciated. Twitter and Discord down below. I hope we can see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.